Hi everyone, and welcome to week 7 of e-learning. And this week we're going to be focusing on understanding author's point of view. So some things that we're going to be working on this week is you're going to read a passage, you're going to break down that passage with a few short answer questions, you're going to determine the author's point of view, and complete a journal write. So it's really not a whole lot of written work this week. The reading is a little lengthy, it's about 3 pages, but that's what we want you focusing on, is the reading and then just completing the questions that help support your understanding of the reading and analyze the author's point of view. So once again, just make sure that you're doing the reading, you're focused on that. And as always, if you need help with the reading, please just ask. So what are you going to be reading this week? This week, you're reading an excerpt from The Facebook Effect, The Inside Story of the Company That Is Connecting the World by David Kirkpatrick. The reading discusses the way people began using social media to organize and protest against a violent group that seeks to overthrow the Colombian government. So it's kind of interesting if you're into Facebook and kind of seeing the way it's impacted the world around us. So some additional information to help further your understanding of the reading. Technology journalist David Kirkpatrick received cooperation from the Facebook executives, including founder Mark Zuckerberg, when he began writing the history of Facebook, from its creation to its impact on the wider world. Kirkpatrick decides to start off with the impact Facebook has had in his prologue of the book he wrote. So obviously we're not reading the whole book, we're just reading an excerpt from the prologue of it, so the introduction of the book. So what is point of view, if I could read? So point of view, we're specifically focusing this week on point of view in informational texts, and that is the perspective of the author on the topic. So the person who is writing, what is their perspective on the topic they are discussing? So it's the way the author helps the reader understand what he or she thinks about the topic. So once again, point of view is all about the author. So we're already at my last slide. Most of this is just you practicing your reading comprehension, and then we're touching on point of view. So it's really not too bad, I'm hoping, this week, and very accessible for you guys to do. So let's jump into our assignment. So as always, they're going to have questions to help connect you to the text. So we have 2 questions that you're going to answer in your own words. And as always, they're your opinions. So we just want to see what you think. So tell us what you think about them. Once you've done that, they jump right into our text. So what they want you doing while you are reading is highlight any unfamiliar or confusing words. As you read, write questions you have in the My Thoughts column and underline 1 or 2 sentences that express the purpose of the passage. So realistically, our goal is just to have you engaging with the text. So take a few notes on things that you have questions about. You see words you don't understand, highlight or underline them so we can come back to them. And then underline things that tell us what the purpose of the passage is. All right, so you're going to run through this and read. I know it is a little lengthy, but bear with me because the work is not too bad as long as you do all the reading. The first thing they want you to do is identify what the purpose of the passage is. Who do you think the audience is? And as you answer these, think about who would use this kind of information. After you've done that, they want you to go back through and highlight 1 sentence in each paragraph that you think communicates the main idea of that paragraph. So if you did last week's assignment, you know they had you do this, like they had you annotate the text and then rewrite it a second time. This time they're just asking you to highlight. So much easier than what you were expected to do last week. Once you've done that, they want you trying to focus on the main idea of the passage. So the main idea is a statement that describes not only the topic of a text, but also reflects the author's point of view about the topic. The topic of this excerpt is Oscar Morales' resistance to FARC. So you might not know what that means right now, right? Because you haven't read the text. But once you've read the text, you will understand who Oscar Morales is and what FARC is. So the first 5 or so paragraphs of the prologue, the main idea statement would be, Oscar Morales created a Facebook group opposed to FARC, which led to major demonstrations throughout Colombia and the release of many citizens held hostage by FARC. But the prologue does not end with the story of Oscar Morales. It goes on to bring the discussion back to Facebook itself. And then they give us some questions breaking down the main idea of that second piece of the passage. Once you've answered these questions, they're all short answer. I'm only looking for 1 to 2 sentences max here. You're going to move on to determining the author's point of view. So the passage describes events from recent history. However, the author has an underlying opinion about the value of Facebook. Although he doesn't come right out and say it, the reader can infer the writer's opinion or his point of view about Facebook and its role in the events he describes. So what they want you to do is kind of look through the passage to find like the tone of the author through evidence. So what they want you to do is go through the text and find two quotes where they describe Facebook in a positive way. So things that are good about Facebook or that you interpret as good about Facebook. Once you've done that, they want you to find two quotes that show negative descriptions of Facebook. All right. And they may not be like bashing Facebook and saying, like, oh, Facebook is terrible, it's the worst, but they're things that aren't like really positive or good about Facebook. So after you read the passage, I feel like this will become more clear, but we're really just looking at positive descriptions of Facebook, negative descriptions of Facebook. Once you've done that, you're going to complete this sentence right here. So based on the author's descriptions, his point of view is finish the sentence. Now we're on to the last piece of the assignment. So lastly, we want you kind of like tying this all together with a nice quick journal write. We want you telling us, why is it important that we understand someone's point of view when they tell a story? How can this be connected or applied to the world around us today? Explain your thoughts in 4 or more sentences. Make sure you write in full sentences and use proper spelling and grammar. So we're really just asking you to think critically about the text you just read and apply it to the world around you. Like, why is this important? So it doesn't necessarily have to be that you connected with the story or that it even spoke to you, but it's like, how can this idea of understanding point of view be applied to the world around us today? And that's the end of your assignment for this week. So once again, I know the reading's a little lengthy, but we can't avoid reading in an English class. But we did try to make the work much more manageable this week so that it's not too much that you're doing. All right? If you have any questions or you need any help, you know where to find me. Please ask if you need help understanding or deciphering the reading. I would love to help you. All right, have a great week.